Cultured meat, is it safe? Viewer discretion warning. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Would you eat it? Meat produced in a lab, often referred to as cultured meat, cell-based meat, or lab-grown meat, is created through a process that involves the cultivation of animal cells outside of the animal's body. Who invented lab-grown meat? Cultured meat is produced using tissue engineering techniques pioneered in regenerative medicine. Jason Matheny popularized the concept in the early 2000s after he co-authored a paper on cultured meat production and created New Harvest, the world's first non-profit organization dedicated to in vitro meat research. What are the problems with cultured meat? While cultured meat uses less land than herds of cattle or flocks of sheep, not to mention less water and antibiotics, environmental costs of the highly specific nutrients required to grow the product rapidly add up. What are the disadvantages of cultured meat? One potential health concern that stands out is the cancer-promoting properties of cells that proliferate exponentially in vitro. Consuming lab-grown meat with such faulty cell lines may have unwarranted effects on the human body. The exact effects remain unknown. How can you tell if lab meat is grown? The labels will also include the prefix, cell cultured, to distinguish the meat from conventional barnyard fare. And they will lack an official, vegetarian, stamp of approval. Is lab-grown meat actually worse for the environment? The study by UC Davis found the global warming potential to be 4 to 25 times greater than regular beef. We conducted a study, and it shows that there is a risk that cultured meat might be worse for the environment in some situations than animal agriculture. What are the upsides to lab-grown meat? Lab-grown meat, which is cultured from animal cells, is often thought to be more environmentally friendly than beef because it's predicted to need less land, water and greenhouse gases than raising cattle. Is lab-grown meat healthier than normal meat? Cultivated meat can arguably be healthier than conventional and alternative meat products. As the cultivated meat industry works with regulators for approval, companies are working on producing meat with the same or better nutritional value of farmed meat. Is lab-grown meat the future of food? While cultured meat companies will still need to overcome a few technological and regulatory hurdles before large-scale production can be achieved, most industry experts do believe that it will reach price parity or even undercut the price of conventionally produced meats. Does PETA support cultured meat? Years ago, PETA funded the very first foray into cultured meat research at 2 U.S. universities, offered a $1 million prize for the first laboratory that could create commercially viable lab-grown chicken meat, and even patented the findings of a scientist who eventually joined Upside Foods before selling the patent. Can vegans eat cultured meat? Is cultivated meat vegan? Because cultivated meat is taken from real animal cells, it is not technically vegan. But that said, because it's slaughter-free, some vegans have said they'd be open to consuming it. What is cultured meat made from? Cultivated meat, also known as cultured meat, is genuine animal meat, including seafood and organ meats, that is produced by cultivating animal cells directly. This production method eliminates the need to raise and farm animals for food. Is cultured meat halal? All products produced from halal animals are deemed halal as long as the slaughtering is Sharia compliant. Kashim et al., 2018. Thus, the use of cattle for cultured meat is halal or permissible as long as Sharia compliant. Is it ethical to eat cultured meat? It is widely believed that cell-based meat production is more environmentally friendly, ethical, and sustainable than traditional methods that involve raising and slaughtering animals. Why some people want to eat lab-grown meat? The production process requires heavy use of antibiotics and hazardous materials. Diseases can spread throughout a facility or into the product during that process. And there are also as yet unknown health and safety risks for humans eating cultured meat. Why are scientists making lab-grown meat? Some advocates of lab-based meat also consider improved food safety as an advantage of lab-grown meat. This is because, in the controlled lab environment, meat products will not face the traditional risk of contamination with illness-causing bacteria. Here's a general overview of how lab-grown meat is produced. Cell isolation. The process begins with obtaining a small sample of animal cells, usually through a biopsy. These cells are often muscle cells, as meat is primarily composed of muscle tissue. The cells are carefully selected for their ability to replicate and grow. Cell culture. The isolated cells are placed in a nutrient-rich culture medium that provides the necessary nutrients, growth factors, and environment for the cells to thrive and multiply. This medium typically contains amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and other essential components that support cell growth. Cell proliferation. Over time, the cells start to divide and multiply, forming a larger population of cells in the culture. This process is similar to how cells naturally grow and divide in an animal's body. Cell differentiation. To create the desired meat texture and structure, the cultured cells need to differentiate into various types of cells found in natural meat, including muscle cells, fat cells, and connective tissue cells. This differentiation can be guided through the manipulation of growth factors and environmental conditions. Cell aggregation and maturation. The differentiated cells are encouraged to form three-dimensional structures that resemble the texture and composition of real meat. These structures are known as scaffolds, and can be made from edible materials like plant-based materials or hydrogels. Harvesting and processing. Once the lab-grown meat has reached a sufficient mass and structure, it can be harvested. The meat may be processed further to enhance its flavor, texture, and appearance. This can involve adding natural flavors, seasonings, and textures to mimic the characteristics of conventional meat. Culinary preparation. The harvested lab-grown meat can be cooked and prepared in a similar way to conventional meat. It can be used in a variety of dishes, such as burgers, sausages, nuggets, and more. Thanks for watching. www.playlists101.co. UK FOR T-shirts.